What's up, Sooner fans? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Before we get started, click the red subscribe button front and center on your screen. Enable those notifications, like, comment. We want to hear from you. You also see the other social media avenues in which you can connect to us here at the Sooner Surge. It is getting closer and closer. Uh, Cars are driving down the turnpike and on 35 South to the Red River rivalry as it takes place tomorrow. It's very exciting. And one thing that's exciting this year, guys, is uh, both teams are pretty good in the injury category. We're here to kind of give a report on the injury situation, Jay. And for OU, outside, of course, everyone knows Harrington had the season-ending ACL surgery. Outside of that, Stutzman's stinger is just something he's going to have to, play through. It's going to be something that probably he'll have multiple times this year. I did hear Kerry Murdoch talk specifically about Josiah Wagner nagging groin injury. But outside of that, I mean, OU's pretty healthy. So that's good news.
Yeah, to me, I mean, you look at it, it's such a different game than last year because if you remember, obviously everybody knows Dylan Gabriel was out, but he wasn't the only one that didn't play last year. Billy Bowman, uh, he got injured in the TCU game, which was the week before. And so this was their first game really without Bowman, who was playing great, if you remember. And they didn't have much depth last year, and it really showed in that game. So OU is pretty healthy other than Harrington. I would love to would have had Harrington this week, but that's a loss for sure. But they've been playing well in that position. One guy that I haven't heard much on, Jeremy, and I'm interested to see is Kenai Walker. He did not play last week. So I'm interested to see if he's back. I didn't really hear anything this week in the presser if BB said anything about that, but that would be nice guy to have available because there for a while when Gentry would get banged up or he'd come in and spell him some, and he's playing real well. He's playing really well. So on the OU side, though, really healthy for the most part. So that's very exciting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Bowman. That's someone that people don't. Everyone wants to talk about Davis Bevel last year and how they didn't have DG, and it's going to be a different story. And we know it's going to be a different story offensively this year. But the loss of Billy Bowman last year was monumental and maybe not talked enough about. So you're right. I would also love to have Harrington with his coverage opportunities and what he provides in coverage. He's going to be and has been helping Dasan McCullough. That's a relationship from the beginning of the year. They talked about how they help each other in their weaknesses. So you can count on the fact that Harrington will be helping Dasan McCullough with coverages and things like that. And McCullough's done pretty good, actually. Done some good things in coverage last week. Covered a guy on a deep flag route to the corner. So I expect him to be an integral part. And I'll tell you why, Jay. It sounds like Sanders is probably going to give it a go. I don't think that was surprising. I mean, it's a monumental game. It's a huge game. And if he can go, he's going to go. Whether or not he's going to be 100% is going to be up in the air. But he's a guy that McCullough might match up on some, Jay.
Yeah, and you just got to limit the big plays with him. That's the thing is, some games he'll catch 4 balls, but it's for 130 yards or something. I mean, you got to eliminate the big plays. Um, hearing some reports earlier this week when that came out that I think it came out yesterday that he was gonna give it a go. A lot of people thought it was going to be a really big question mark whether he played. So I don't know if he's going to play, but I wonder how healthy he is. That's what we don't know yet. The other concern for Texas is Watts at the defensive back. And he's a big integral part of what they do, a bigger defensive back, size wise. So that'll be interesting to see. Still a day-to-day game time decision, I think, for him. So we'll see if he goes. I mean, as everybody knows, OU fans know, OU is very deep at receiver. They can throw multiple guys out there. And so whoever they're playing at that position is going to be tested, and I think tested early. Even if it is Watts, I think they're going to go at him early just to see if he's healthy.
Oh, I agree. And OU's going to prepare for Sanders and Watts. There's no doubt. Last year, OU had to really put in a lot of wrinkles. I know there's going to be wrinkles tomorrow, but these would be wrinkles that OU planned on and they practiced not just this week. Last year, without DG, they had to add some wrinkles simply to try and move the ball. Obviously, that was a concern. I think that took away from some normal prep time. So I think this year OU comes into this fairly healthy. I'm interested to see Savion Byrd. He kind of came in a backup role last week. I don't know if that was precautionary or if he has kind of been placed there. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Jay, after his injury.
I mean, everything I'm hearing is he's been practicing and he's good to go, but still maybe Everett will start. So that you wonder if he has kind of just doesn't trust him yet enough in those games, and maybe Everett's the guy they're going to roll with for the time being. I don't know that situation. It's very interesting. So we'll see how they do that. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. Another guy we didn't talk about, R. Mason Thomas. He played, I think, 11 snaps last week, 11 or 12. So I would love for him to maybe now be almost fully healthy and give it a go and get more PT this week, because I do think OU could have an advantage there at defensive end. I think the tackles are probably, I mean, they're good. Their tackles are good, but I think maybe if you're going to get them, that's where you're going to get them at.
100% agree. The defensive end, OU seems to have that matchup maybe with their depth and just who they got there. So, yeah, good news on the injury front here for the Sooners as we get closer and closer to this game, Jay. We will be live tonight on a YouTube Live. That will take place, guys, from 10 o'clock to 10:30. I know it sounds late, but who's sleeping tonight anyway? So please join us at 10 o'clock tonight on our YouTube channel as we'll be live so we can discuss all the ins and outs of this matchup. We'll break it down position by position, player by player, and get your thoughts. We want your thoughts and comments. We are not doing the pregame live in the morning because College Game Day's on and we all want to watch that, I'm sure, and be a part of that and watching that. So join us tonight for the YouTube Live, 10 o'clock to 10:30. If you're not subscribed to our channel, subscribe, because we'll be notifying you and putting updates throughout this evening on Twitter about the YouTube Live. Cannot wait to tonight, 10 o'clock, be on it. And tomorrow, 11 o'clock game time, 11 o'clock kick, 63 degrees in the state Texas State Fair. It's going to be exciting. Texas still sucks. Boomer.
Boomer.